welcome to the Team Ottawa podcast. I'm here with Mayor Mark Sutcliffe, and we've got lots to talk about today. We're going to touch on the ByWard Market. We're going to be touching on a number of issues, talking about sort of improving the life of residents in suburban areas. That's a really important focus for you, and you certainly have been out in the community.
Yeah, this is one of the great things about Ottawa is that we have a very vibrant downtown that we're working on making more vibrant, and that includes the downtown core and the ByWard Market, which we're going to talk more about in a moment. We have a wonderful and vast rural community in our city, and we've done a lot to improve life for rural residents in the last little while, and I think we spoke about it on a recent episode of the podcast. And then we have the suburban part of Ottawa, all these wonderful neighborhoods and communities like Orleans and Manotick and Stittsville and Kanata and Nepean and, Gloucester. These are all vital parts of our community where people live and work and play and go to parks. And they need to be able to get around those communities effectively and get to where they're going if they're coming downtown or going elsewhere. So as one example, Catherine Kitts, the councillor for Orleans South Navan, she and I kind of did a little tour of some of the hot spots for traffic in her ward. It's a really rapidly growing part of the city. And because of that, there are traffic implications. And so we're working on a number of measures to make the traffic flow better through that area. We're widening part of Brian Coburn. We need to widen more of it in the future. We're making investments in better transit infrastructure for that area. We're looking at all the solutions we need to make sure that as the community grows, that everything's in place for that to be a successful community and that people can get around easily, and we deal with some of the traffic congestion that's been happening. And then as well, I've been spending a lot of time in Barrhaven recently. There's a lot of great projects in Barrhaven. There's going to be a new civic complex that's effectively going to be like downtown Barrhaven. And by the way, Barrhaven is growing so much.
It's wild.
I remember Barrhaven when I was growing up as a kid, a few neighborhoods, a strip mall, a grocery store. Now it's this massive community. It's almost as many people as Kingston, Ontario. And there's multi-story apartment buildings, significant business community. I toured around with the BIA recently and dropped in on some of their on some of their members. So there's a lot of opportunity to create a new civic complex that's going to be like downtown Barrhaven. And again, we're doing other things around traffic and transit there too, including the Greenbank Road realignment. So it's really important that we get things right in the suburban communities, and I'm working very hard on that.
And the irony of it is when I moved to the Ottawa area, we lived in Orleans for 3 years. And when I go back to Orleans, I don't recognize it now. And Barrhaven, like you say, is just growing
fast.
Tremendously, very, very fast. And let's talk a little bit about the ByWard Market, because of course I loved hanging out in the ByWard Market as a young person, but I love going there now, bringing my family. The gal pals get together, go for dinner down there. But there's some big changes coming.
We're excited about our plans for the ByWard Market, and everybody knows the ByWard Market has been a huge part of our history. It's almost 200 years old, and it needs to be an even bigger and better part of our future. It's a jewel within our city, and we all know the ByWard Market's had some challenges recently during COVID. With the toxic drug crisis, with mental health challenges, with homelessness, the ByWard Market has been through some tough times, but things are getting better. Traffic to the ByWard Market has increased significantly in the last year to 18 months. There are new businesses and restaurants and hotels opening in the ByWard Market, and we have an action plan for the ByWard Market that includes redeveloping a couple of our properties there that are going to be very, very exciting. And that passed through City Council unanimously a few days ago, and we're really excited about moving forward on this plan. We're going to see the revitalization of the ByWard Market building, that historic building right in the heart of the market. We're going to see York Street redeveloped and more pedestrian space in a plaza on York Street. And we're going to see 70 Clarence, the parking garage. Eventually, that's going to be replaced with an attraction that will bring people to the market, and we're going to do everything we can to still preserve the parking so people can drive to the market and park, and that'll help support local businesses. So very exciting plans.
And Mayor, what does it say to you when a vote like that is unanimous, when a really important project and every single member of council agrees that that's an important way to move forward?
Yeah, not all the votes are unanimous. Sometimes, sometimes it's 20-5 or 22-3, but in this case, it was unanimous. I think it shows that we've got the right plan and we took the time to find the sweet spot because, it's often challenging. You're balancing a lot of different factors and considerations, a lot of different ideas, and you want to move forward with consensus on the things that are important. And this is a great example of that. And
I think it's really important as well to talk about what else is happening in the ByWard Market and the solutions there. And you often refer to a program called Anchor, and we've made some big strides for Anchor.
Yeah, and we need more solutions in the ByWard Market. We're hiring more police officers to serve that area. We're providing more outreach workers. We're doing other things. And then Anchor is a great program, and so a lot of people in our community probably haven't heard all the details about it before, but if you go back a few years, if someone was experiencing a mental health crisis or a substance use crisis in the community, let's say they were in a restaurant or on the sidewalk in a public place, you would call 911, and likely the first person who would arrive on the scene would be a police officer. And the police, that's not a core responsibility for them to deliver health care to someone who's going through a crisis. It's not the right solution, and they're approaching it from a public safety perspective because that's what they're trained to do, not from a healthcare perspective. So we created a pilot project 18 months ago called Anchor. The pilot project was in Centertown, and it's been a great success. The results have been very, very positive. You call a different number now, 211, when you see someone who's in crisis. And if it's appropriate, rather than sending the police, they send a very well-trained crisis response person, a team of 2 people. So they send these emergency crisis response workers to the scene, and they help resolve the issue and help find care for the person in that situation. So people are calling 211. Not in every case is it necessary to dispatch an emergency response team, but in some cases it is, and that's been very effective. What's exciting now is we've put money in the 2026 budget to expand that to a much larger area. So it's in Centertown now. We're going to expand it to the east, and that's going to go all the way to Saint Laurent. It's going to include the ByWard Market and Lower Town and Lees and all those areas. And so now going forward, once it's implemented, when people see something happening in the community, they'll be able to call 211 and the right resources will be deployed in that larger area. It's very exciting.
And I think it's really important as well, we're talking about the infrastructure for the ByWard Market, that you're also caring for the people in the ByWard Market and the surrounding communities. It's a really...
and I had a chance to meet some of those crisis response workers and the dispatchers at 211 who are all amazing. They do great work, very, very caring, compassionate people, and we're grateful to them and to our partners, our community partners who are delivering this service for all of their great work.
So many things moving forward, Mayor. It's exciting.
It is.
It's exciting. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Sam.
For sure. Thanks so much for joining us here on Team Ottawa Podcast with Mayor Mark Sutcliffe.